is a life sentence without parole. Too many of us carry invisible wounds, trauma, loss, shame, and silence. I created the Crawl, Walk, Run podcast to break that silence, to give a voice to the voiceless. This is not just a show. It is a platform, a place where authors, veterans, artists, survivors, and everyday people can share their truth without fear of judgment. We crawl through the darkness. We walk toward healing. And we run into purpose. Together, we will build this community. This podcast is about resilience, about stories that matter, and about reminding the world that your voice could save someone's life. I'm your host, Steve-O, and this is Crawl, Walk, Run.
Jeremy Eichenberger, awarded D-winning author. He is just some kid from Alaska. He has lived many lives inside this one. Some good, some bad. Somewhere along the way, he became lost. He doesn't really know when it exactly started. There are a few times that would make sense, but moreover, he has been lost most of his life. He tried to find his way like most. He clung onto groups and activities that others did and never really fit in. He never figured out who he wanted to be until he hit his mid-30s, which admittedly sounds kind of lame. One day it all kind of made sense. He wasn't sure if it was a message from a higher power or if he was just ready to actually listen for once. Either way, when it all started to become clear, he found that he wasn't the only one who just wanders through life. He is an International Impact Book Award-winning author that has published the book An Odyssey of Oddities, the Lost Stories edition. It can be found on Amazon in softback and hardback. It is to show others that they aren't alone. We live in an age where it's easy to get swept up in the flow and forget who we wanted to be. At times, that becomes a compounding set of problems leading into more serious issues. He wants others to know that change is possible, but it takes honesty, hard work, and dedication. At the end of the day, he just wants people to see they are not alone and to ask, what are you here for? What do you want out of this life? J.E.
I am Steve-O, 1821 Productions, voice of the voiceless. This is the Crawl, Walk, Run podcast, and this is season 3, episode 4. And today, my special guest is Jeremy Eichenberger, and the title of the show is Lost Along the Way, told by an award-winning author, Jeremy Eichenberger. So I'm going to bring him in here. He's all the way from old Alaska, just some kid from Alaska, and here we go. What's up, my man? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. So, interesting, man. I was kind of blown away that you were International Impact Book Award winner. So you don't have a logo or anything, so I'm just going to put that up there.
All right.
Show everybody that you're an award-winning author. So, what does Crawl, Walk, Run mean to you, man?
Man, I've been thinking about that. You could really put that into several different ways of looking at it, right? But for me, I think it actually describes what goes on in the book. Like in my book in particular, the first couple of chapters, I'm just kind of crawling or coasting or meandering through life without much direction, right? And then kind of in the middle, I'm starting to walk. I'm starting to get my stride, right? Like I'm starting to figure out who I am, and then something kind of set me back. And then there's a little bit of give up here and there and discouragement and other downfalls that kind of get in the way, man. But I found that when I finally found my purpose, like it just hit me like a bolt of lightning. Like it just felt right. And I sent off on a trail of, yeah, this is it. This is where I belong. This is my space. And I haven't looked back since then. So I've been just going. Audio.
I'm sure that I believe everybody suffers from some type of trauma. So what is trauma to you? And if you don't have trauma, what do you do to help other people with trauma?
So yeah, trauma is one of them subjects that can be touchy for a lot of people. A lot of people have been through it, right? And then there's some people that will use it as a keyword for attention-seeking behavior, and you kind of got to weed those people out. You know who they are. You can kind of tell by their stories. But for me, like in my house, there was a lot of drug use. It wasn't so much domestic violence, but like verbal abuse from my stepdad to my mom, abuse from my stepdad to me. So there was that kind of trauma. And then as I grew up, I had friends die. Several died. Drugs, suicide, overseas in war, all kinds of things, right? Murders for gang retaliation, drug retaliation, whatever. So a lot of that weighed on me also, because you're close with somebody and you feel like you missed signs, then, you have that survivor guilt, and that's a real heavy burden to carry. It's not supposed to be our burden to carry, but a lot of us do it, right? So that was something I had to learn how to navigate also without much coaching. You're muted. I can't hear you.
I always do that, man. Because of noise in the background, I don't want no echoes and stuff to pick up while you're talking.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
The first couple podcasts, man, this year was kind of, like.
Yeah, I did 12 last year. Yeah, I did 12 last year. My goal was 20.
Yeah. Dogs barking in the background, and so.
No, I get it.
What are the coping mechanisms that you use, man?
Man, I use a lot of journaling
or other people.
I use journaling, honesty. When I'm coaching with somebody, when I'm counseling them, whatever you want to call it, right? Encouraging them to keep moving on. I press journaling more than anything. And the reason why I push journaling is because regardless of how you use it, I'm not telling an adult man to have a diary, right? You're not going to frame it like a diary. What I frame it as is write down everything that went like shit. Write down all the things that went well, right? Fill it up. Fill that whole damn journal up. And when you fill that journal up, you fill that last damn page. You got two choices. You can keep it and you can read it. And you can read all the worst parts of your life or whatever, or all the things you're concerned about. Or you can burn it, throw it away, whatever. I suggest you throw it away. You've already put it down. You put it on paper. It's no longer your burden to carry anymore. And that's a choice at that point. But once you start writing it out, like it does alleviate the weight on yourself. That's part of the reason why my book actually made me feel better. Like I just carried that shit around for forever. And it's an invisible weight, but it's a weight, right? It's weighing down your mind, your heart, your everything. Once you get it off of you, it makes you, I actually felt better. I definitely afraid what people would think, but people have been receptive. People are resonating with it. It's showing others that there's strength in it and encouraging them to, hey, look, if this goofball can do it, why can't I,
Don't you have a lot of outdoor activities that you do too?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, hiking, I'm an amateur treasure hunter. I'm actively working on the John Collins Black Treasure. He has 5 of them throughout the country. So I think I've narrowed down one. It's it just happens to be close to one of my work sites. So pop in there and kind of poke around from here. You got to find things that keep you happy. I do woodworking, whatever, just busy, just staying busy, man. Like, especially if you're trying to push past things that have weighed you down, I guess. Like for me, like getting sober was like a big thing, but then I had a lot of free time on my hands. So I had to find a lot of activities that would otherwise take that newfound time that I just discovered. Because apparently drinking is very time consuming. I didn't realize how much time I spent doing it.
Let me ask you a question about Alaska, because I don't live there, but it looks like it's daylight there. But when is it dark like all the time?
Oh, that's easy. So that starts at about end of October. And for where I lived in Wasilla, like you still got 7 hours of daylight. It wasn't like
And so it's
crazy.
not like 90 days and 90 nights. It was dark, pure darkness.
No, that's up in Prudhoe Bay, up in the
Okay.
northern part, close to the Arctic Ocean. I worked up there on oil rigs and pipelines, and that's where that movie was actually filmed, is up there, that Barrow.
Okay.
I've actually been there. They have a hell of a pizza joint and a Chinese place.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend
So-
going up there for Chinese food, but if you happen to be in the area.
Is the seafood good there, man?
I was always a big fan of halibut.
Okay.
I'm allergic to shellfish, so you only find that out usually once. So,
Okay.
but yeah, halibut's great. I'm not a huge fan of salmon. Everybody likes salmon. I ate a lot of it as a kid, so it's not something I go after. But I mean, down here in Florida, I'm actually experiencing new different types of fish too. So
Oh, so you're in Florida right now?
yeah, Crestview area.
Okay. I thought you were up in Alaska, man. It would be like, okay.
No. I do travel a lot, so that's what
Okay.
throws people off because I change time zones a lot in my emails. And
All right. I just came from Florida. I was in Claremont.
oh, okay.
Like,
Yeah, we've been
near
down here since
Orlando.
May.
That's where my kid is, in Orlando.
Yeah, we moved from South Carolina down here in April of last year. So
Okay. Are you married?
no, but I mean, I've been with the same girl for
Okay.
6 years. It's just one of those things.
Well, brother, the floor belongs to you, so I'm just going to fade in and out while you're talking. So I think everybody wants to hear your story, man. So be honest and raw, man. And periodically through this, I have some crowd surfing photos and some other cool stuff that I'm going to pop up while you're talking.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess I'll start from the beginning, man. I grew up in a modest neighborhood. I'd say modest. It was a bunch of trailers, and not like trailer folk, but good people, decent people. Everybody had jobs and tried, but there was crime and there was things you could get into you shouldn't have been getting into. So it exposed me to a life and people that some would say were probably not good mentors. But I did sure learn how to have a lot of interesting adventures with those folks. So kind of led me into the world of punk rock and, mischief and shenanigans. And that opened up a lot of doors for other activities that some would say are frowned upon, definitely frowned upon. End of chapter 1, I had been partaking in some street pharmaceuticals. And I don't mean this in a braggadocious way, but on that particular night, we got a phone call from a DEA agent, and if he had kicked in the door, I would not be here right now because there was definitely enough evidence to put me in jail for 110 years.
You make me laugh, man. I usually don't laugh on my show, but that's okay.
Yeah, so I got involved in all that, man, because I was a broke punk rocker, dude. And there's only so much you can really do being broke and being a punk rocker. I mean, it sounds cool. It's a fun life, very limited rules. But it sucks. It sucks being broke. And, so we got creative. So you'll learn about a few of our creative ideas. One of the more popular ones was my cousin worked at Burger King, and he would leave the back door unlocked. And we'd go jack all the chicken McNuggets or chicken nuggets. So we'd have about 1,000 chicken nuggets in giant bags in our freezer. So that was one of the ways we stayed alive. But there's some other interesting activities on how we decorated our house and where we acquired this material. That's actually it's a summer meltdown concert. I used to be a big fan of mosh pits and crowd surfing. Now at almost 44, I'm probably not going to do that. But it was a hell of a time, man.
Yeah, I'm a nosebleed guy now when I go see bands like the Deftones and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm not into mosh
feet hurt.
pits no more.
Yeah, my feet hurt randomly just from standing. So, it's time to wind down just a little bit, That's fine. I had my fun.
I sit my ass down now, man. There's no way. Some of these people go to concerts for like 11 hours, man. Forget that, dude.
Shoot. No. No. And I mean, maybe I am getting boring, maybe I have calmed down in my older age, but you know what? I'm all right with that.
You say punk rock. What kind
Yes.
of punk rock bands?
So I was in a band called Idle Minds, and it was me and three other friends from the alternative high school that we all graduated from. We decided to start a 4-chord punk rock band, and we wrote a lot of really shitty, easy to play songs about drinking and fighting and smoking cigarettes and chasing girls, and it became wildly popular, which was kind of weird.
So what
then,
type of punk rock music influenced you, like the genre of punk rock?
Oh man, Pennywise, Rancid, a little bit of Blink. Everybody said we were kind of pop punky, So Blink-182, Green Day. I like it all, man. I really do. Like the old school punk rock, the old anti-government, rah rah rah. That stuff's pretty cool.
Do you like Jodie Foster's Army, JFA?
I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Agent Orange.
Agent Orange,
Black Flag.
Black Flag,
Henry Rollins.
Yeah, Henry Rollins was a big influence just because he was hilarious, number one, and out of his mind.
I saw the Dead Milkmen a couple years ago, man.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of them.
Go listen to the song "Big Lizard in My Backyard" or "Bitchin' Camaro." You'll like that, dude.
Okay, I'll check it out. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was into everything, man, but like I don't know, at that age, more or less, I was just looking for a brotherhood, dude, like anybody else.
Yeah, man. That's the only thing I miss about the Army, man. The brotherhood. I don't miss anything else, man, but the brotherhood.
And that's the crazy thing about Alaska is like if you're a young male in Alaska, like you don't have a lot of options. You got Army or oil and gas if you're lucky. And those are the two brotherhoods you can really get into. And I say it like this because I think I dodged a lifetime of trauma that my friends have gone through, but I went down, but I wasn't selected for the job I wanted. So I opted to go somewhere else. And I ended up getting a job up on the slope. But a lot of my friends came home and they were not the people that I grew up with anymore. So I feel like their sacrifice and their willingness to go over there, I appreciate that. And
what did you do you said like the ski slope?
No, I worked in the oil and gas business. I broke out on a drilling rig and then went over to pipeline and facilities and I learned that.
What do you do now in Florida?
So I still work in oil and gas. I work for a very large oil and gas company as a regional safety manager now, which is kind of ironic given my past. But it's funny. It's kind of funny.
Have you ever been on a rig?
Yes, land rigs. I have not been offshore. I've wanted to go offshore so bad, and the closest I would say is we built an island for a drill rig off the northern tip of Alaska out in the Arctic Ocean. That was the closest I ever got to being on a drill rig in the ocean. But
isn't drill rig on the ocean big dollars?
Oh yeah, well, oil and gas is usually pretty good money anyway. I mean, I've made some pretty, as a consultant, you can make some pretty good money. I mean, if you're just a hand, you're going to average. Like a drill rig hand makes pretty decent cash if you work for one of the good companies, because they want good people, They don't want shitheads. They're not going to pay you $9 an hour, so they attract shitheads. They're going to try to pay you more money so they attract worthwhile candidates.
Well, let's talk about this award-winning book right here, man.
Yeah, man. It was crazy. This actually all started out as letters to my kid initially because I was living a life that was more than likely going to get me killed, man. I did a lot of stupid things and I used drugs and alcohol and put myself in some seriously dangerous situations. There's a story in there called Bird Scooters and Blues. And essentially, to summarize the chapter, I lost an entire human while drinking. I acquired 2 humans that didn't speak English, and then 2 presumably ladies of the night. And I only know that because the rather large man in the Suburban that pointed a gun at me and demanded money kind of put all the puzzle pieces together. And I did all of this blackout drunk. I don't know where I met these people. I don't know their names. I don't know what I've said to them, but apparently they were following me. So, at some point your luck kind of runs out. And that was kind of one of the turning points to pulling my head out of my ass. Is eventually my luck was going to run out at some point.
If somebody's going to read this book, what chapter would you tell them to read?
It depends on what you're looking for, man. Are you looking to be inspired? Are you looking to have a laugh? I mean, there's a story in there where I tried to kidnap a fur seal with a homemade lasso, I've had some wacky adventures, and there's some good shit in there. If you're looking to define yourself as a person or figure out, why for whatever reason you keep making the same poor choices and you're blaming yourself like you're the fuck up, there's a lot of chapters in there where I clearly define that you're not alone in being a fuck up. Like I'm one for sure. I screwed up a lot of things in my life. So there's knowledge in there. There's a chapter in there that talks about death and your legacy. Like, what do you want to leave behind? Like, who do you really want to be? I felt like that was an important chapter. What's your legacy? Like, what are you leaving behind? Mm-hmm. Because for a time it was some doodles on the inside of a county jail wall. That was what I was known for, getting arrested and being stupid and getting drunk and pissing people off. And,
explain the cover to me. I see that you have your drill hat, your oil rig hat.
Yeah. So the cover is actually designed by a friend of mine. And I had the original publishing company and make an attempt, and it was god awful. And luckily I ran across, hang on, we'll name drop her here in a minute, but I'm drawing a blank on her artist name because I'll name drop her here in a second.
How did you come up with that title?
So an Odyssey of Oddities was always kind of like, it kind of came to me one day and I was like, man, that is really catchy, because like my life has always been a journey, right? And just weird shit happens to me. And some of it is caused by my own actions, but like just weird things, like things that would not happen to normal people happen to me frequently, there's a chapter.
Like what?
So there's a chapter in here called Accidental Heroism. We went snowboarding, typical snowboarding day, all of us are there. And a friend of ours, his wife, flew off the side of a cliff in front of my eyes. And I thought I watched a person die in front of me, and turns out she didn't die. I was able to get down there to her and help her out. And we had a weird and amazing conversation while the top of her forehead was filleted open and I could see her skull. And I was not an EMT. I am not prepared to deal with things like that. But for whatever reason, I was selected to be in that particular moment at that particular time. So, and it was actually part of the rewrite for the book because my dad had passed away and I wanted to add a chapter in there about that. And she had called me after she had read the first book. And she's like, I can't believe you didn't put the story in there about how you saved my life. I tell my daughters that you're my hero. And see, I almost got choked up thinking about that right there. And I had never looked at it like that. I'd never looked at
significant other in your book.
Yes. She is in there also. She's in there also because she's a huge point in my life also. I don't think the book would have ever been written. It was a bunch of sloppy letters and journals kind of tucked away in a box, and I just kept adding and adding and adding to it. And eventually,
you're the only writer, or do you have a ghost writer, or did she help you?
No ghost writers, no proofs, no nothing. I wrote it all out in journals until I felt like I was done writing, and then I typed it out without even reading any of the journals.
Are you done writing?
No, I'm working on several other books right now. I was actually just working on one today in the airport in Tennessee.
Like what?
I don't want to give away too many details, but I want to write a book that essentially pokes fun at the things that go bump in the night.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, because we all have stories. We've all been a child at some point, and everybody's been afraid of something, right? So what gave me this idea is, in my mom's house when I was a kid, the laundry room would cast a black shadow across the hallway. So as a kid, I believed something lived in that black shadow. So I would get a running start and jump over the shadow, because as long as I did not touch it, nothing could pull me in. So that's what I did for forever, right? Regardless of whether or not it was true or not, I believed that there was something that would pull me into the laundry room and eat me or whatever. So I always thought it was funny. And then when my son was young, he was afraid of, the monsters under the bed, and I was single dad, and I went over the top, and he would scream for me, and I'd come in there with like an AR-15 or an axe or, a hockey stick or, just to make it over the top and dramatic. And he would laugh and I would laugh. And I always thought it would be funny if I wrote a book about these two parents that go to extremes to get rid of the things that go bump in the night, like waterboarding the boogeyman and, just, I don't know, just something silly, just to make parents laugh, because it's ridiculous, but it's a part of our job, right?
I wrote in my first book about the Sandman.
Okay.
Like, when you go to sleep at night when you're a little kid and they say that Sandman sprinkles magical dust in your eyes and it makes you go to sleep.
Yep.
At the end of that story, I said, be careful, little boys and little girls, because if not, I will tell him not to wake you. I will not wake you from your terrible nightmare. So kind of weird, kind of dark, therapeutic poetry. But that's funny that you say about the monsters under the bed, because like my dad was an alcoholic, and sometimes when he would sober up, I would have talk to him, because like he used to beat me drastically as a child. But some of the good things that came out, my dad told me, like where I lived at, there was a house near me. It was a brick house, and that's where my dad grew up as a child. And he used to tell me a story about a lady, a lady that had black hair, and she had a hat with cherries on top. And they used to chase her up the stairs into the bedroom, like into the bathroom, and put a chest up against the door. And in the morning, they would move the chest and she'd be gone. So I didn't believe him, right? So one day I was riding my bike and I went by the house, and there was a lady. There was a lady looking out the door, dude, with black hair and a hat with cherries on her head. And I was kind of like compelled, and I went back to my dad and I'm like, was she a ghost or what's going on, man? Like, what's going on with the lady at the house over there? And he's like, that house, nobody lives in that house. And I'm like, whatever. So, but I do believe in my father is like my guardian angel. So I do believe in that. So
I started noticing more after my dad's passing. He likes to mess with the electrics in my house.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So it's been pretty entertaining, to say the least.
It's a new light blinding me, dude. But that's all right. So we are getting down to about 30 minutes, but is there anything that you would want the people to know? So first of all, where can your book be found? What platforms is your book found at?
So it's on Amazon. Amazon's, it's got everything. It's got the hardcover, softcover, and digital. I've been pushing Booksby because Booksby is a newer platform. It allows me to have more control over it. So I actually have it cheaper through Booksby. And you make more. And for an author, it's a bigger profit margin, which it's not about the profit, but I can't go broke while I try to write books either, so that's nice that there's a company out there actually paying authors. and then Ingram Spark. And then there's a bunch of other websites that randomly have it. I found it on Walmart. I found it on eBay. But yeah, I would say stick with either Amazon or Books By. I'm working on an audiobook, but my second publisher is very flaky, and it's just been a nightmare. I'm sure you've dealt with it too.
Yeah, all three of my books are on audio. I'll tell you something offline about Books By, but if you ever have a problem, don't email them, man, because they're from Australia. And the only buddy that's going to reach out to you is AI.
Oh, goody.
I don't have my books on Books By no more. So I had a print problem, and I spent like $300 on my author copies and never got them.
Damn it.
Yeah, so you might want to tread lightly on that. I do have a lot of friends that are on Books By. It is it's very easy to put your books on there. Not like Amazon where you have to have a PDF or a GIF or
Amazon
format. Oh my God, man. Amazon
has
needs to change their whole
format.
Right.
Yeah.
They take 40% of your softback and 60% of your hardback.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You don't even get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Like if somebody buys it off of Amazon, I get like $3.
Dude, I sold 33 books. I'm not bragging. I sold 33 books last year. And I don't even know how I did, man. Because like I used to get royalties of $1.65, you know? And like, ooh, boy, I sold a book. And they sent me a $10.99 for $349. I'm like, where did I sell $349 worth of books?
Oh yeah.
There's no way. So I had to reach out to them and be like, y'all need to send me like a spreadsheet of where these books were sold at. No way. I usually buy my books and give them out to people.
Well, I've been giving away copies. That's why I like Books By, is because I can get them for so cheap through Books By.
Oh yeah.
You know,
and they print to the nearest zip code.
What is it?
They print to the nearest zip code.
Yeah, so I can have an author copy to myself for like $4.50. So I can give that away to make that connection and have a conversation with somebody, a stranger, who's then going to tell somebody else about it. That's the theory, right? So
Ingram does the same thing. I'm with Ingram now, so
I'm with both. Yeah, I got them on Ingram, but Ingram, for whatever reason, I had that on my TikTok and nobody will click the link. I don't know why. They have clicked the link for Books By, which is weird. It's just.
Do you have a website?
No, because every single person that I've talked to about building a website wants to charge me an outrageous amount of money, and I just don't see the point.
So I'm on a website. I referred about 20 different authors, and this is super cheap. I think they call it Telluride. I'll send you all the information after the show.
Okay.
$7.99 a month to build the website. Okay. $15.99 a year for the domain and maintenance.
Yeah. See, so the second publisher was trying to charge me $500 a month for maintenance.
Nah, man, hell no.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, I was with who was it? I was with a Chicago book company, and they were doing my marketing, and they were like, they built an amazing website, but they were like, all this is, you know, it costs like, I would say $3,600 to do everything. And I was like, cool, you know, I'm going to sell books. I sold like 2 books. And then they were like, well, after a year, the domain is going to cost $600. I was like, out, I'm done.
Yeah, that's what these guys said. And I mean, the website they made was really cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I found with a lot of these publishing companies, like on Facebook, is none of them are American-based companies. Page Publishing was supposedly, but Page Publishing was just such a shit show that they were charging me $11 for author copies. I didn't realize how cheap they were. So when I published the second book, now I had control, and I actually put in, you know, all of the details for the original book. I found out it would have cost them like $2.20. So they ripped me off for the first 300 books I ordered by charging me $11 per book. And it's just the second publisher, I forced them to let me have more control than anything. Like I didn't negotiate regardless of whatever they thought. Like I fired an entire team just because I had to do 6 hours of editing and, moving text around pictures on Father's Day. I was so mad. Yeah. And they didn't, shitty mistakes. And I guess they must be all from India. And I found that out because they originally published my book on Amazon.in. And I thought that was weird, but it was
Nigeria and Pakistan.
Well, yeah. So IN is India. I typed it into Google to see what the IN meant. And they literally on the Indian version of Amazon. So not even in the US. I'm like, Jesus, man, come on. Like, I'm not a hater, dude. I don't care where you're from, but like, I'm an American author. I need it to be here. Like,
do you have a copy of your book with you right now?
Yeah.
And I'm going to drop down and let you turn the book around.
All right.
So that the audience can see the back of your book. So I'm going to hide.
There we go. And this is the hardcover. It actually does look pretty good.
Yeah, it's really glossy, man. It looks cool, dude. So for struggling authors or anyone that's going through some type of trauma or just not there, lost, what do you have to say to them before we go?
So for anybody struggling, man, look, here's step one is be honest. All right. Be honest with yourself, right? Like, same thing with getting sober. I tell all my guys that want to get sober, like, if you really want to be sober, you got to be honest. You got to cut the shit. Don't lie. No more lying. You're not fooling anybody. We're all fucked up. Same thing with, if you're dealing with some trauma, man, everybody's been through some shit. And if they tell you they haven't, they're lying. Okay. There might be a handful of people in the world that haven't been through something that has jarred them or shaken them a little bit that they keep hidden. We all go through shit. So knowing that not everybody out there is perfect and, like their life's been perfect their whole life. No. Okay. We've all been through some shit. So be honest. Find a group of people you can be honest with. Find somebody that can be a fellowship or a brotherhood, whether it's AA, NA, knitting club, book club, whatever it is, frisbee golf. Find your clique, be honest, be truthful, and get in there. That's the big thing. And talk about it in a chapter called Warriors, Not Wieners. Men don't connect anymore. We hide shit. That's what we do. We hide shit. And that's what leads to men killing themselves. That's what leads to an astronomically large number of men dying from suicide and alcoholism and addiction. And we take ourselves out because we bury shit for forever and then we can't deal with it anymore. So then we off ourselves. That's ridiculous. We don't need to do that. Shit, call me, cold call me. All right, DM me, whatever. Annoy the shit out of me until I answer. I will answer because some guy that I didn't know picked up a phone for me one time and saved my life.
Do you have numbers in your books?
I don't put my personal number in there, but on my TikTok. No, I'm
talking about therapy type numbers like, 8911.
No, but I do share
awareness.
Okay. Yeah, I share those on my socials. I make sure that people know that it's not something to be embarrassed about because it's not. Like, I was very, very close one night and some stranger saved my life. So
I think everybody goes through some type of trauma in their life. And if they tell you they've never have, like if you have that person die in your family, you recently got to go through some type of trauma.
Yeah. Yeah. Watching my dad die was really hard on me.
Sorry to hear that, man.
We all got to punch out one day. So
yeah, man.
That's why I did the rewrite.
Thank you very much for being on the show. If you have any closing statements, you can say them now.
I keep it usually pretty simple, man. Don't doubt yourself. Don't count yourself out. Don't give up. Don't quit. If people tell you can't do it, it's probably because they can't do it. So you should probably do it more. And most of the time. All right. Don't let other people's opinions impact your life, man. Do what you want. Live your life. Live it to the fullest. Go out with your boots on.
Be the voice of the voiceless, right?
There you go.
All right, man. I thank you very much. Not everybody's a veteran. I have a veteran podcast, but I've decided to interview other authors and people going through trauma. And I really appreciate you finding me and me finding you, and we'll stay in contact. And I will send you some things that we talked about in the beginning, but I do challenge you to go to Facebook to the Blacklist Facebook group, and you will see me and my 3 moderators there who take all the people that get scammed by Nigeria and Pakistan, and people that call you on the phone and say, hey, you won the lottery, or they send you the email, or they take pictures of that stuff and their email addresses and Amazon fake emails, and they send all this stuff to us, and we clip it and put it up there for people to see, man. So we're almost at 500 followers there. So
that's interesting that you guys have that, because one of my hobbies when I'm really bored in hotel rooms, I take all the spam numbers I got for the day and I sign them up for medical insurance and car insurance.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's a good time. I mean, nobody else
man.
really knows that I do it, but for me, I get a laugh out of it because I get to create a whole name. So
well, I've been seeing all kinds of crazy stuff, man. People will send, like, I'm not gonna get into sexual, but like people will send like weird like dildos and butt plugs and all kinds of crazy shit to people that, you know, like scam them.
Yeah.
Like, get their phone numbers or their addresses and look them up and keep sending them like stupid magazines that say like, feminine type.
I get
and
you.
really piss people off, man. And like they're like, okay, I give up. I'm not gonna scam this guy no more, this girl no more. So
that's why I do it. It's boredom and it's funny to me, which is probably a good indicator that I need more hobbies.
it's great that you came on, man. I don't like people that are like robots and stuff, and it's cool because like some shows won't let you swear, man. But really, I don't say the F word too much. I've been on some veteran podcasts where it's almost like every other word from like Marines are like F this, F that, F this, F
Yeah.
that. And I try to keep it cool, man, but like I let people swear, and I don't know, you got to watch me in the morning, man. I do my 1821 productive voice and voices mental health message, and I'm dropping F-bombs all the time, and my buddy's like, yo, Steve-O, you got to stop saying the F-bomb, man. You're going to lose followers, and people don't want to listen to your politics and the Greenland stuff going on. I never voted. I don't vote, but I really just don't agree what's going on in this country right now, man. Like,
I'm in that boat. I
crazy,
recently just transferred to exempt on my taxes, and I have my tax obligation, what would otherwise be my tax obligation, going into a private account. And at the end of the year, I'll put in all my deductions, and then I'll see what they think I owe them. But I'm not giving them a free interest-free loan anymore.
I truly believe if you think that this administration is going to abolish the IRS, that is not going to happen.
I don't
They
trust
make too much. They make way too much money off of people that need to pay in and stuff. It's crazy, dude. So
I don't trust any of them. I'm an anarchist at heart, but I'm more libertarian as I get older. Like, just leave me the fuck alone. I'll pay my part. Leave me the fuck alone.
So one of my stickers I give out in my sticker pack is the Black American flag.
Okay.
Do you know what the Black American flag means?
I don't.
No surrender, no quarter.
So I was gonna say that. Yeah. It's similar to the Jolly Roger, but in
killed or be killed. Killed or be killed. Yeah. So, but look, man, it's been real, dude. Thank you for coming on the Crawl, Walk, Run podcast. I'm going to drop you down, do my closeout. You can go and do what you got to do. As soon as this is done downloading, I'll send you the link and you can send it to your friends. This is streaming next week. So last week was the 21st, so like the 27th, 26th, 27th. It's going to stream on YouTube and Facebook. I'll send you my Facebook link so that you can check it out, or go to YouTube, 1821 Productions.
Okay.
6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, man. So the community is growing. So I really appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Have a good one, brother. Be safe.
You too, sir.
We're about to get hit with this damn winter storm up here in Pennsylvania.
I believe it.
All right, brother.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. Peace. 1821 production, voice of voiceless, Steve-O. And this was the Crawl, Walk, Run podcast. Thank you very much. We had an amazing guest, Jeremy Eichenberger, award-winning author, International Impact Book Award winner. You will see him. He's got more books coming. Always remember, mental health is a life sentence without parole. Everybody has trauma. If you want to be on the show, hit me up in the DM. WilliamStevens007@gmail.com. Peace. I am the voice. Have a great night.
Crawl, walk, run has been brought to you by 1821 Productions, voice of the voiceless. If you have a story, please reach out. We are the voice of the unheard. Till next time.